So this is an introduction / review to correlative adjectives in chapter 13. The correlative adjective basically is, or the correlative adjectives are two adjectives used in the same clause, and they have a specific distinct relationship. So the first set of adjectives you have here, the demonstrative adjectives, come from this chapter or earlier. And at some point you should just pause this to write them down. You have taught the indeclinable adjective, which means so many, right? Indeclinable means that there are no distinct cases. Taught is just the nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative. Talis, tale, it's a third declension adjective, right? So remember that third declension adjectives use third declension endings. Tanta right? The usa indicates that this is a first, second declension adjective. And then tam, the adverb, so. So that's just an adverb, but it's part of this demonstrative set that will be correlative with the other set. Here are a few example sentences using these demonstratives. So for example, habeo taught gladios. I have so many swords. I just want you to notice that the taught there is not declined, it's indeclinable. Another example, numquam talem hominem vidi. I have never seen such a person. Notice that talem here is a third declension adjective, right? Not a big deal. The other set of adjectives that you learn in this chapter are the exclamatory or interrogative adjectives. Notice how these all begin with Q, or QU, right? Quot, indeclinable adjective, how many, qualis, quale, what sort, of which sort, quantasa how much, how great, and then quam, the adverb, meaning how. And I wrote a few sentences here using these for examples, right? Quot gladios habeo, how many swords do I have? Quanta urbs est Roma, how great a city is Rome. Notice also that these interrogatives / exclamatory adjectives, this could be used as an exclamation, right? Or even with this second sentence, quanta urbs est Roma. If I had just written this with a question mark, this would have been a question. How great a city is Rome? ? And so we do the same thing in English, and I can give you examples if you'd like in class. I just wanted to lay these sets out here, right? Compare these with these. They're very similar, right? So with the exception of the QU and the T, right? Taught, quat, talis, qualis, tantus, quantus, and then tam, quam. So they're essentially pairs, right? They're sets, and you really can think of them as such. Which leads us to their correlative translation. So when you use taught, quat in a sentence, right, it has this idiomatic translation, as many as, right, where the as is introduced by the quat. And tantus, quantus, the same thing. As much or as great as, where the quantus establishes the as. Tam quam, as blank as, and then talis qualis, such a sort as, or of such a sort as. I wrote example sentences with all four of those. So again, at some point you should pause the video to write these down. Notice the taught and the quat. I have as many swords as you have, right? Where the first taught, or the taught, right, is the as many, and then the quat, as. Filius tam fortis as quam pater, the son is as strong as the father. Talis poeta era Catullus qualam homines amaverun. Catullus was such a poet as all people loved, right? And then Romani erant tanti, the Romans were as great, quanti, as the enemies were. And that's pretty much it for correlatives.